Good morning. I am extra awake this morning. Stephen would have been up here on time, but he opened the bread and realized it was moldy, so then he had to get the other bread. But we were woken up before 8 a.m. today. Brandon says backup bread. No, we just went to Costco yesterday. Someone rang our doorbell before 8, waited a minute, then knocked, and by the time we got to the door, because we had been asleep, they were pulling out of the driveway. It was some woman in a vehicle, and Steven walked halfway down the driveway because she was like slowly pulling away. I don't know how she didn't see him, or why she didn't stop, but she left. I don't know. My first guess is landlord, but like, we don't have a message from her. But also we haven't seen her like since we signed the lease back when we moved in, and I don't think I could pick her out of a lineup, so I don't know if it was her or not. Anyway. Renee says, either way, why would she come over without calling? Yeah. I don't know. But now we're awake. So. That is too hot. Anyway. That's how we were awoken this morning. We have 39 months from Cassie and 42 from Hayaru. And 12 months at tier 2 from that gamer gerbil. Here comes Steven with toast.
It's me.
It is not moldy toast.
Did you tell them that
I said you opened the bread and it was moldy.
Did you tell them that I toasted moldy bread?
No.
Because I somehow didn't notice that the bread was moldy when I got it out. It was only when I pulled it out of the toaster and put it on my plate that a big corner of both slices of bread was blue, toasted blue, and I was like, can safely say that I have never done that before. That was a new experience, and I hated it. But fortunately, we had just bought new bread. So anyway, that's how my morning's going. You told them about the
doorbell?
The knock on the doorbell?
Yeah.
It should be a crime.
It should be a crime.
I mean, a punishable offense to knock on someone's door before 8 a.m. Unless the neighborhood is burning down. Lord have mercy. This wasn't 8. This was like 7:54. What on earth? Brandon says the punishment is someone knocks on your door. It's just, I mean, like, everyone operates at different hours.
Yeah.
But there are certain, like, understood restrictions. Restrictions apply.
Yeah.
Coffee.
You don't knock on first off, don't knock on someone's door. Just as a concept.
Text first.
Just don't, if you don't know the person's door that you're knocking on, why are you there? Man, we had that guy come up the other day in the yard, and I just shut that down super fast. I'm old, and I don't have time for anything. Like, someone comes up and they're like, "Sir, do you have him?" I'm like, "I sure don't. You have a good one, buddy." Like, that's it. I don't know what he was selling. I do not care.
He was going door to door, that guy.
I saw him. We took like a little walk, and I saw him walking around, and I was like, ah, boy. Here we go. Don't know what this guy wants. And I'll never know, because he didn't get that far.
No, he did not.
He walked up around the corner. Sir, can I just... No, you can't. He was trying to sell you retro video games. Sir, I just have a garbage bag full of Super Nintendo titles, and I'm trying to give them away. Get off my lawn. I like that a lot. Did I ever tell you about the dream I had once, where we went to a flea market, and there was someone that had gallon-sized Ziploc bags, and they were all full of Super Nintendo cards, and it was just $5 written on the outside of the bag. I had this dream one time, and it comes back to me a lot, and it was, you know, I saw him, and I was like, I just remember going, oh my god, no. Like, just grabbing all of them. And then leaving the flea market with these big gallon-sized Ziploc bags of Super... I don't know what games were even in them. I was like, it doesn't matter. They're all worth $5. Anyway, it's a great dream. I hope one day it comes true.
There was one time someone who worked with the coordinator at our children's hospital for Extra Life, it wasn't her, but someone she worked with, stopped by to drop something off. And she was really confused, and we were really confused, because no one told us. And she was like, you know, so-and-so from McLeod, they wanted me to drop this off because I live out this way. And it was the blanket and all that stuff.
I vaguely remember that, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I remember that. Thunderstriker says, wasn't there a guy trying to sell you a mystery game on the Super Nintendo for $5?
That was at a flea market.
Was that Columbia? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's poor games. They were destroyed. It's fine. It's fine. I try not to think about that.
We have 5 gift subs from Mark from Vermont, and they went to Tommy Tours, Real Colors, Giga Problem, Sparkquill, and Aldebaran.
Thank you, Mark.
And 41 months from Brandon.
I know Brandon.
Sorry. That got me.
I know that guy!
300 bits from Circle Now Squared. Currently in the hospital recovering from emergency surgery after my angioplasty had complications and completely blocked blood flow to my leg. Recovering nicely, but some good vibes and sugar could help too. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
I'm glad they caught that and it was able to get fixed.
Do you I can't tell if you put sugar to get the alert, or if you literally mean, man, I need some sugar. And I'm like, I did not know that sugar was one of the things to help with your angioplasty. Anyway, alert. Okay. My brain was like, huh. I had a complication from surgery, and they're giving me 10 cc's of sugar, and I'm like, that's really interesting. I'm glad that you're doing better now, because no one wants to hear you have a complication from surgery. That's not like a good thing, but I'm glad that you're feeling better. Anyway.
King Arts and Games, sorry, I was reading in chat and the alert at the same time. Nerd Arts and Games resubbed at 9 months. And we have 18 months from NJ Chef.
King of the Nerds was basically asking, like, what times are acceptable to knock on a door. Well, the first answer is never. But if you have to, I think that it's fair. Like, okay, if you have to knock at 8, that is the earliest that
I say 9.
You think 9?
9.
9's, like, don't get me wrong, like, 9 is better, but, like, I wouldn't be angry if someone knocked at 8. Like, at 8, if it was 8:05, Satsy says 9 because business hours. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if someone knocked on my door at like 8:05, I wouldn't be super, super thrilled. But like, okay, let me put it this way. There is a world of difference between 7:55 and 8:05. Those 10 minutes are like the cause of all of my anger. Like, if you knock on my door at 7:55, like, what are you doing? You knock at my door at 8:05, I'm like, okay, it's after 8. The latest you can knock. What's the latest you can knock? That's a great question.
Sundown? If it's dark out, I better be expecting you. Like, Domino's Pizza.
The only person that can knock on my door after 7 p.m. is Gordon Lightfoot.
In December, though, sometimes because mail gets delayed because of Christmas, sometimes they're out delivering packages really late and they'll knock, and it throws me off. I'm like, it is 8 o'clock and dark. Why are you knocking? Which is worse, a doorbell or a light knock on the front door?
A knock is worse.
Yeah.
A knock is worse. The only reason I say that is because a doorbell is static. Like, a doorbell is always the exact same sound. A knock, also, to some degree,
a knock could tell you what kind of person it is.
Well, to some degree, this is like a human thing, right? In normal human society, you are attuned to the sound of a doorbell. Like, the doorbell happens, and your brain goes, oh, the doorbell. A knock can scare you.
Yeah.
The doorbell doesn't, like, scare me. But if you're sitting on a couch, and all of a sudden, like, even the normal knock, even just that's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Anyway.
Especially if you're bypassing someone's, like, Ring doorbell or something by knocking.
Right?
But they're all motion activated now, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But, like, if you're knocking, you better have a good reason to knock. It might also differ from place to place, too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like here, especially, there's, like, so many people that want to do, like, lawn care. And there's always someone,
it was definitely not that lady this morning.
No, and also...
Maybe it was that guy, though, walking door to door the other day.
Yeah, that guy's probably doing lawn care, but... Oh. Renee says, I've watched The Strangers, I don't answer for knocks. So, like, we typically just don't answer the door.
Yeah.
I just don't do it. There's nothing that is so important happening at the door that it really needs answered. It just doesn't happen. But the person this morning doorbelled and then waited a minute or two and knocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not going away? So I answered it. It's alright. I always answer the door with a weapon. 100% of the time. That's not a joke, actually. You know, just in case. You don't know. Baby safe. I'm sorry. So anyway.
Kepler.
Kepler would make a great weapon.
Yeah, him purring this morning.
He could distract someone. Have you seen my cat? I love you, but it's psychopathic that you never open the door. No. If anyone's got business here, they can send me a message. They can call.
They can leave a note.
They can leave a note. There's ways to reach me. That's my philosophy. I don't have any reason to open the door. I mean, I opened the door this morning.
Yeah, you did.
Why did that woman leave?
I don't know.
She so desperately wanted to talk to us.
I don't know how she didn't
And I walked down into the driveway, and then she just left. I don't know. Maybe she had the wrong house. Maybe she realized she had the wrong house and was like, oh, wait. I don't know. Anyway, keep reading stuff.
500 bits from that gamer gerbil. Recently I've decided to go back to school to further my career in the industry that I'm in. Just waiting to make sure all the financials are lined up like they should be. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
That's awesome, though.
Sorry,
You're
I'm eating
chewing
bread.
toast?
At least it doesn't have mold on it.
I hope so.
Good luck to you. I chewed for that. Wanted to say that.
We have 42 months from Phantom SVT and 5 months from Stalker Mike 1987.
Sorry, I'm still
Still devouring toast.
I'm working on it.
We have 500 bits from Toasted Puck. Not sure whether to ask for good vibes. Good news came through. I finally came out as gay to my family. Hope everyone gets a good dose of bravery today.
Nice.
Congratulations. Hope it went well.
Yeah, I hope so too. Obviously, it's one of those things that can really run the gamut, but I hope that your specific situation was good. It was, what's the word? Like a supportive interaction. Regardless, congrats.
Kimikawa says, "Is your landlord and she will call. This is an attempt to make contact with you."
Did we ever talk about...
No, we didn't.
Get a load of this. Get a load of this. And this, you want to talk about weird. The other day, what time was it? We had just woken up from a nap?
I think so.
Because we were in the bed, but we were awake. I think we had just woken up. We took a short nap, and I was on my phone before we had actually gotten out of the bed. And I got an audio message. Not a voicemail. Not a voicemail. An audio text message. Who does that? And it was from our landlord. And I was like I was browsing, I was on Safari, and then at the top it's like, new audio message from landlord. And I was like, audio message? Who on earth? So I hit the button, and I hit play, and it's just a voice that says, did you pay your rent? And I was like... And then, you have a brief moment where you're like, oh God, did I pay rent? So then I go and I look in my, pull everything up to check that I did. And I did.
And it had been cashed.
And they had cashed it. And then I was mad. And then I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you cashed this. I was really upset. So then I responded with, yes, you cashed it 2 weeks ago. And then I got another audio message that just said, thank you. And it was only after that point that I was like, does she send audio messages because they auto-delete? Because on iPhone, if you get an audio message, after you have hit play, it sticks around for 2 minutes. And I guess it's probably a thing because you can choose to save it if you want to save it, but it doesn't do it by default. And I'm assuming it's that way so it doesn't, start taking up wild amounts of space on your phone. Because if you were having a conversation with someone in audio, it'd eat into your space really quick over text. And only after that did I be like, wait a minute, I wonder if this is a thing where like you can do or say anything, man, on audio if you're like, oh, this will get deleted in 2 minutes. I did not respond in audio message because I wanted a text copy of what I said. I wish she would have said something like that, but or said something in text. But yeah, that was like a bizarre interaction. Absolutely bizarre.
Ask for it by name. Tiny Eddie's Beaver Twists.
Yum. Love beaver twists.
I'll give you this
You
so
wanna
I
give
can
that-
eat.
Sure.
Anyway, we don't know if that was her this morning. That was just my first thought.
I don't even know what she looks like.
Yeah, we haven't seen her
She's a
since we
woman
moved in.
with hair. Like maybe she was blonde. I don't know. I don't remember what she looks like.
You know what they sound like, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. There's 1,000 bits from Travis B. Vibin says, I know there's a new thing for chat to do with 1,000+ bit alerts, but I can't betray Tiny Edward. Tiny Edward and his beaver twists.
Is that knockoff, Bucky's Nuggets?
Yes.
A new rocket ship racer by Konami set in Hot Kakariko Village.
Hot. 1,000 bits from Nunchu says, sad I missed the intro to this alert, but here goes. How closely does this chaos reflect the contents of the Stephen Plays email inbox? God. Sometimes, yes. I mean, obviously I'm not getting requests from Konami for things that are set in, Kakariko Village, but this is some wild stuff. I pass up a lot of games. Some of them rocket ship racers. Occasionally. Also, there's just so many video games. Like, you don't even know. You don't even know. You only know about the ones you hear about. Beyond that, there's hundreds of new video games every month you've never heard of. And arguably, 90% of them are probably not worth playing. But man, there's a lot. There are so many games. I've also been surprised at how quickly companies have managed to crank out blank simulator games. It's insane.
Such as?
Look around the room and name an object. Like, that's everything.
Oh, that sort of game.
Everything exists. It's crazy. It's crazy how many different, like, simulator things exist. Anyway, we got 300 bits from the Slick Duke, who says, Toilet Ska. There's been a lot of toilet stuff in our life lately. I posted, so years ago, this is actually almost 4 years ago, when we lived at the other house, the toilet got messed up and it was making this really wild...
The valve needed replacing.
The valve needed replacing, and it was making this crazy, crazy squeal. I think Brandon's already linked to it. But when I started TikTok, I was like, I'm going to post that at some point, and it's probably going to do really well. Because it's funny. And I posted it, and it did really well, because it's funny. And within, I think, less than 24 hours, it had over 100,000 views. And I was like, people just like funny sounding toilets. You know, that's just one of those things that people enjoy. So if you've never heard it, you can listen to it. Anyway.
Oh, that was the ungodly noise I heard from my fiance's phone last night.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think so, person dude.
I had to cut it a little bit because in the original I explain what's going on. Mm-hmm. But on TikTok, ideally things are less than a minute long. I wasn't curious how this platform worked. I was like, what happens if it's longer than a minute? And if it's longer than a minute, it's ineligible for duets and stitches, which I'm still figuring out what all of these are. And I was like, okay, I should probably keep it less than a minute, so I just cut out the context. Because you can write on screen with text, so it's like, yeah, it solves that problem. Yeah, they will let you do 3 minutes, but the features available to your content changes after 60 seconds. So I was like, I can cut the context out of this. The only thing people really care about is the noise. Also on TikTok, it's one of those things where like everyone's like attention is like fleeting, right? So it's like you might as well just start with the punchline. It's fine. It's just it's a different platform. 300 bits from Genesis. This says, Steven, I really hate toasted mold. Yeah, I do too. I'm surprised I didn't notice it before I put it in the toaster, but also I was talking to Mal, I was doing some other things, so I guess I just wasn't paying attention. I'm more glad that we had other bread, because otherwise I would not have had any toast at all this morning.
So we buy our bread from Costco.
Yeah.
And it comes in a 2-pack. Freeze one of them, because freezing bread works really well. I left the other one out on the counter, and this morning, Steven goes, why didn't you just freeze them both? We still have like half a loaf here. And I was like, well, I figured, you know, we both have toast or we both have eggs tomorrow, and then we're down to like a piece or two. So the next one's ready. And you were like, no, and you put the new bread in the freezer. And then you put your bread in the toaster. And then I'm up here waiting for stream to start, and you go, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, in my defense, there was enough bread left that we should have frozen the other one. Mm-hmm. However, it was not aware to me that the bread was moldy. And upon finding that out, I was like, oh. And then I pulled the loaf of bread out of the freezer that I had just put into the freezer. I was like, never mind. The problem is, the reason that bread went bad is because we had too much other stuff. Because we had stuff left over from Coliseum that we were working through. Mm-hmm. And in hindsight, I don't know how old that bread was. Maybe it makes a lot of sense that there was mold. It's fine. It's fine. 5 months from El Simi, 82. 300 bits from Summer Sencha says, I just got called in for a job interview next week for a job I really, really want. I think I have a really good chance of getting it, but I'd still like to ask for some good vibes for the best of luck. Hey, I got the mug this morning, so... Oh my god! Okay, like, super... If you need good vibes today, we're literally sending them through your retina. That's where you get the most powerful good vibe energy.
Is it?
Right through the retina. So, yeah, good luck. I hope that goes well. Also, a reminder for folks, because we've had a lot of folks recently, like, applying for jobs, do things like that. If that goes well, please report back in. Just because we'd like to, I mean, celebrate with you, but then also be like, hey, good. glad that the good vibes worked. What else we got? 16 months from Casadicia. 300 bits from Arpega says, speaking of retro games, I went by my local store for the first time in a long time the other day, and I was surprised to see that they had a copy of Pokemon Box for GameCube for a cool $1,200. Y'all remember when video games were reasonable? Because I don't. I'm starting to not remember. Pokemon Box is an interesting one because that's one of the last remaining manuals that were missing for GameCube. And this was a few years ago. The manual was on eBay. And they won, and it was an auction for the manual on eBay, and it was, I think it was $150. Mm-hmm. And I remember having a lunch bunch with Roland, and he's like, don't you need that manual? And I was like, yeah. I was like, but that's a lot of money for a pamphlet. And I was like, you never know what's going to happen. I might run across this in a different capacity, and because I think at the time Pokemon Box was probably going for like maybe $250 or $300, and I was like, if I could find it complete, it's worth more complete, and then I would sell off the other one that I had or something. And he's like, okay, he's like, if I were you, I would get it. And now the game is like $1,200, and I'm like, okay.
To be fair, there are some things Roland is like, you should buy this.
I mean, it's true. He also manages a game store and wants you to buy games. Roland's the one pushing for Extra Life PS2 edition. And I'm like, Roland. No one can afford to do that. Are you crazy? PS2 games, on average, run high, and there's like 1 million of them. There's so many.
He's good at his job.
He is good. He's good at taking everyone's money. 11 months from Travis B. Vibin. 300 bits from Radio Dread. It says, mid-March. Can you believe it is mid-March? Clown test. No, I cannot believe. Because it barely feels like 2022, to be honest. And here we are halfway through March.
Yeah.
It's fine. 25 months from Back in Red. 9 months from Linders. 300 bits from Danny X6 says, this morning I got back from my run at 6:30 a.m. and when I opened my apartment door, I immediately heard a dog bark. I don't have a dog. Took a sec to realize the bark came from down the hallway. Spooked to say the least. Yeah, that would be wild.
Yeah.
Especially if there was a dog in your apartment. I think that would be extra wild. And also not like terribly impossible. The reason I say that is there are occasions, and it's usually not very often because we're thinking about it because it's happened before. But there's occasions where like we'll hear a sound, we'll hear and we'll go, what is that? And then we'll realize that like Kepler managed to
Get in the bathroom or
get
something.
in the bathroom or get in a closet or something. And it was something, we were just going in for a moment and it was fast. And then we go, okay, we're done. And then we leave. And in that time, he was like, oh, a place. And then he's stuck in there. So it's not that unreasonable that like a very small animal that you're not looking down at could like get into your door when you open it. Like a squirrel. How wild would it be if you're watching television and you look over and sitting next to you is a squirrel just watching the TV too?
That would be wild.
I wouldn't love that. Princess or a bird. A bird's actually really likely too, because we had a bird in our house once. Mm-hmm. How did it get in there? Oh, it was in the thing.
It was on the wreath.
It was, yeah, we had a wreath on the door, and then we never had a wreath on the door ever again. A squirrel would be not great. Getting a bird out was hard. Getting a squirrel out seems really difficult too. Especially because, like, they may attack you. If they feel... if they're threatened, I think that they could possibly go after you. You'd have to be, like, opening up the door and then, like, trying to lead it around. Throw some nuts in the direction of the door. I mean, if you keep handy nuts around... I don't keep nuts around. After Christmas I do, but...
We had an anole get in. The lizard.
Yeah.
Your parents had a tree frog get in.
Yeah. No snakes. No snakes. No snakes. No snakes. No snakes. No snakes. Never had a snake in the house. God, that would... I've had that nightmare before.
Same.
I've had that nightmare before, and I'm just like, please.
When I was
please.
roommates with Haley, we had our beds bunked in the dorm.
Yeah.
And she was on the top bunk, and she dropped something off her bed onto the futon, which was next to my bed. And I was like half asleep, and it like was part of my dream that there was a snake and it fell, and that was the snake. And I woke up and I was paranoid for like a week.
That's fair.
Because it was so realistic, because it was like tied to something.
I mean, as a general rule, I don't want like anything in my house except, Kepler. But living in the Southeast, I make amends with certain things. Like, I'm Chaz identifying as a wild animal, I guess. I mean, I understand there's going to be spiders.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I understand that there's going to be just random critters at times. That's okay. But certain things, don't want to find in my house. Do not want to deal with a snake.
Power your body and mind with Tiny Eddie's Extra Crispy Brand New Noisy Cream Crunch.
Extra crispy and noisy.
Yeah.
From Travis B. Vivin, my mom fed a squirrel in the backyard for a while. Once, when I was home alone, the squirrel chewed a hole in the screen and got in. I was salty. Wow. You've never had cream this loud. I hate that phrase, Chaz. Yeah, so first off, extra crispy, brand new, noisy cream crunch. There's a lot of, like, loud identifiers in there, right? Extra crispy, noisy, and crunch. I don't like cream crunch, just as a concept. I wonder if the squirrel... I guess the squirrel... I mean, I guess squirrels on their own could just chew holes in screens, but
yes.
I wonder if it was a situation where, the squirrel just identified your mom as, like, oh, this is source of food. The source of food's in there. Mm-hmm. I should get in there where the source of food is at. Yeah. I guess that's why they're like... When you go camping, you're like, please don't feed the bears. The bears are associate you with food.
Yeah.
Then they go around people. Then they're like, "Where's my nuts?" I don't mean to make new alerts. They just happen. Always get your pet spayed or neutered. 5 months from Laneland. They're going to bid some sea peach on. Says, hello, grandparents. Today I'm working in the morning for the first time. Good luck for me. Good luck. Mornings are great. I really like mornings. Mm-hmm. You sometimes have to adjust, but like for the most part, I'm a fan of mornings. Usually, unless there's a knock.
Satisfy your taste buds with Tiny Eddie's modern pumpkin shortbread.
I want pumpkin shortbread now.
You could make that.
No. Just.
You want it for your birthday? No, you want pretzels for your birthday.
Yeah, remember that Christmas gift?
I told you the other day.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's what I want.
You want me to order it? Finally?
Well, what about the other pretzels? There's other pretzels down there.
How about I make you those pretzels
When?
this weekend?
Okay.
And then after we find out about CT scan and stuff, we order your pretzels from Christmas.
Okay.
Just to make sure you're going to be able to eat them.
What?
And they're not going to, like, go bad.
I'm gonna be able to eat them.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be able to eat them?
I don't know, if you had to have surgery or something.
Do they not let you eat pretzels in surgery?
Would you have let me eat a pretzel after surgery?
I don't. Well, that's different. I'm Stephen George. I eat pretzels. Where was I at? From Travis B. Vibin says, part 2 to not get either chaz. Meanwhile, my cat, who only ever wanted to catch the squirrel, just sat there staring. The squirrel eventually left. I guess your cat probably just never thought in a million years the squirrel would come to him, you know, mm-hmm. Be like, oh, hey. Oh, this is awkward. You ever see that video? There's a video of two dogs, and they're behind a gate, and they're barking at each other like crazy. And then someone opens the gate, and they immediately stop. It's like, rah, 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 and the gate opens, and they go, rah. And then they just walk away. That's the same. It's the same situation. Once the squirrel's in the house, the cat's like, "Oh, this is awkward. I just like to send threats. I don't actually do anything." My favorite part of the story is that the squirrel just left. Like, instead of like chasing the squirrel out, the squirrel was like, "All right, peace, see ya."
Like when we had the bird in the house, I was curious what the cats would do, but it was good that they were asleep in the office, so we could just shut the door and leave them in there. Yeah.
The risk. There's two risks, right? Is if they got the bird, there'd be bird parts everywhere, and I don't want to have to deal with that.
No.
No part of me wants to deal with that. So that's the first part, and then the second part is
we had the doors open.
Well,
trying to get the bird out.
That I wasn't even thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third part is that a bird in the house, the cats would have gone crazy to the point of like they would not have thought about what they were running into or jumping on or anything. That's the biggest risk, because a cat is generally fairly meticulous, like can walk over things and like doesn't touch anything. I mean, you might have a cat that's like, this belongs on the floor, but otherwise, like if they want to, they'll jump up on something and just very carefully move around. If they're going after a bird, they're not going to think about that, and your stuff's going to be like destroyed. So my advice is never invite a bird into your house unless it like is your pet. This is my personal advice to you. 21 months from Action Cat 7. 300 bits from Night Owl says, can I get some good vibes for all the people graduating soon? Countdown is at 50 days.
Yeah, good vibes.
Good vibes. Make sure you're sleeping. It's my big thing. as you get closer to finals and you get more stuff to do, make sure you're getting enough rest. It's so important. Don't pull like 2 all-nighters in a row. You cannot think straight. You just can't do it. Get some naps in. We got 300 bits from Sapphire Beckett. Says, just reporting in on my job interview status from the other day as requested. I got the job!
Congrats!
Starts in April. Sharing my good vibes to those applying for jobs now. So happy to finally get a new job after years of applying. Excellent. Thanks for letting us know. I mean, it's there are so many folks that, you know, ask for good vibes and they're going in for job interviews specifically. So it's nice to hear the other side of that. And man, April is not far away. How is April not far away? It's fun. It's not fun. 8 months from UZ. 300 bits from Valix Butterfly says, today is the Ides of March. Speaking of Outback Stab House, be careful out there, Stephen.
No one is stronger than a knife.
Coffee!
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I do.
Well, I'm happy for you. We were having a conversation with so kind of a spur of the moment thing. Paul was in town last night, so me and Mao and Dan got dinner with him, which was really nice. He had to be around for work, and on the way back home, we were having a conversation with Dan in the car, and I don't remember what was said, but we were talking about strength or something, and I had said that no one is stronger than a knife, which is true.
We were talking about reasons we wouldn't be together. And you were like, well, if you stab someone.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, we were like... I think Dan hated the conversation the entire way home. But that's just the sort of... I love having those fun conversations. It was like, oh yeah, what reasons would there be for divorce? And I was like, I guess if Mao, like, attacked me, and Mao was like, well, you know, you're stronger than me. And I was like, no one's stronger than a knife.
That's what it was.
That's it. And that very much made Dan and Mao laugh. I was like, if you attacked me, I'm not stronger than you. You are if you have a knife. Those deep stabbing conversations. Wait, deep conversation or deep stabbing conversation? Sounds like an Inspirabot quote. Anyway, now you have some context behind that thing that Mal tweeted. No one's stronger than a knife. Just saying. 300 bits from Aldo says, I desperately need a shirt that says, I'm Stephen George. I eat pretzels. Might not sell many shirts, but still. I've always loved pretzels. Me and pretzels have been through a lot. We've had a lot of experiences together.
You just bought more peanut butter pretzels.
I haven't bought those in so long. We went to Costco because we needed...
And you just very sneakily grabbed the container.
I didn't... I'm an adult, but yes. We went to Costco for more Magic Milk. They sell Magic Milk at Costco. I don't know if people know that. So we got some of that. And I hadn't bought the pretzels in months. And I was like, I want something salty to have around because we haven't had a lot. We've had a lot of sweet stuff, but not a lot of salty stuff. So now I've got some pretzels. I've been through a lot with pretzels. Really have. I had my first asthma attack.
With pretzels?
With pretzels.
Because of pretzels?
Yeah. Maybe. Y'all don't know about the Magic Milk?
Also, Brandon asked on Saturday because we were talking about it. And I was wrong. Because he asked how long past the date it lasts.
Oh, it
And
lasts
I didn't have
2 weeks
Yeah.
past the date. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. So whenever I talk about Magic Milk, what I mean is that if you go to any grocery store around here, or a big box store, you go to Walmart, and you buy the milk doesn't last very long. It just doesn't. You buy the milk, it has a date on the box, and that date is usually within 7 to 10 days. The milk is definitely bad by the date, usually a little before the date. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone's has a different background, but smell test every time I drink milk or use milk in any capacity. Like, is this okay? Okay, it's still good. Anyway, at Costco, that milk is magic. The reason that it's magic is that when you buy it, the date on the milk is like 2 weeks from when you're buying it, and the milk lasts 2 weeks more after that date. If you buy a gallon of milk at Costco, it will last in your fridge for like a month plus.
Yeah.
It's wild. And it just doesn't make any sense to me, because if you buy milk in any other capacity around here, it goes bad.
See, I feel like that wasn't a problem in Wisconsin. Like, growing up, we never had that happen, where the milk would go bad fast.
Coffee.
I was very surprised living here how fast the milk always went bad.
Yeah.
But
And
the
like,
Costco milk doesn't.
from my experience, it lasts a little bit longer if it's in a paper,
Cardboard?
like a cardboard container. But the Costco milk's not.
Mm-hmm.
Costco milk's in a plastic container, and it lasts forever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If you have a Costco, and you can get through a gallon of milk, that's where I reckon. That's the only place I'll buy milk now. Partially because it's the same price as a much smaller milk at the grocery store, because Costco's so cheap. But I know that I can buy that milk and I'll get through it all, because it won't go bad. I can buy a smaller milk at the grocery store and it'll go bad. And I hate that. Anyway. Life tips. Magic milk. 300 Bits from Action Cat says, do you have to invite birds in like they are vampires? Because I feel like birds will just appear like, sup, this is my house now. I mean, birds seem really scared of our house.
Is it the cat?
It might be the cat. They like our bird feeder.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't... I don't know if they would come... If I had the door open, would they come in? Maybe, if there was birdseed, like, inside, maybe. But
Kepler wasn't waiting.
Kepler's always, like, watching. Kepler is a very specific meow he uses when he sees a bird. He chirps. I guess he's trying to talk to the birds.
Yeah.
And we always know if there's a bird around, because Kep will, like, suddenly go... kind of like a bad
Seal?
dolphin. Yeah. Yeah, he makes that little
Chirps.
sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute though. 300 Bits from Satsy who says, Mouse tweet reminded me of a story I heard of a drunk guy who pulled a knife on a bouncer. The bouncer is not small, and he looks at the knife and says, do you really think that'll do anything? The drunk realized that no, it was a bad idea, and ran. I mean, if I was a bigger man, maybe I would have less fears of a knife. Maybe.
You are a large man.
No, I mean larger, like...
Buff?
Yeah, like if I was I'm not the right
Build
for,
bouncer.
Yeah. If I was hired as a bouncer, I'd be like, are you sure? You sure about this? Because I don't think I'm really the right person for the job. There are better qualified people for this than me. I'm Stephen George. I eat the pretzels. You must have me confused. I eat the pretzels, not turn people into pretzels. General rule, I don't want to go up against a knife. Generally. 28 months from Toaster Wolf 99. 34 months from Rasaka Gaming. 300 Bits from Science Nerd 2240. So as I was looking into classes to finish out my degree last night, I discovered that my university offers an introductory course for forensics, think CSI, which is my overall end goal after getting my degree. Sending good vibes to y'all. I'm feeling really excited and happy right now.
That's cool.
I think it's really exciting when you get to take a class for something that you really, really want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because that can happen to some degree in high school, but it really happens in college. When you have more specialized classes and more specialized professors, and you can be like, oh, I really want to, to learn about this, and now I can. So that's cool. I'm happy for you. It was always fun for me whenever I got to take like my post-production classes, because I was like, this is the thing I want to learn about, and then I did. So one of the benefits of higher, if you're going to higher education and you're like, I don't know, you're doing something that maybe you're not like super passionate about. It's just like, oh, this is a good career path, but it doesn't have the specific like courses or something that speak to me. Then maybe it'll be less of a situation. But for a lot of people, I think that are doing higher education, there's going to be a lot of times where you get really excited about something you're learning, which is so different from high school.
I like when you would get those classes that you had to take and you didn't expect to enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
I took a philosophy class and I didn't expect to like it, and I really enjoyed it, and it was the same when I took logic.
Mine would absolutely be astronomy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I took astronomy not as a throwaway class, but like kind of. It
You
was
had
like,
to take a science class.
yeah, maybe, yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, it was just like, oh, you know, that could be fun, and then I was like, oh my god, I love astronomy. So yeah, I think that probably happens to everyone at least like once. You're genuinely surprised. Some of it has to do with the professor, though.
Yeah.
So you can have a good subject and a bad professor, or a bad subject and a good professor, so you don't know what you're going to do. Oh, that's interesting. Renee says, I randomly took some criminal justice classes and I really enjoyed them, and I didn't think I would. Now, one I didn't like was Chinese art. Didn't much care for that. It's fine. 20 months from Captain McKitty. 300 bits from Goldmage. It says, speaking of creatures being places in the house that they shouldn't, some people keep the clown mantis shrimp as a pet. Some of those people have found that the shrimp can punch and break the glass, especially if someone tries to move them. I hate that. Can you imagine if you had a aquarium and your fish broke out of the tank? I think that's just a sign to not have that.
I
as,
used to
as
have
a
an
pet.
aquarium. I had mollies. It was a freshwater aquarium.
Did they ever?
One jumped
break
out
it?
once.
Oh.
There was a small gap in the lid, and then jumped out.
Do you think that it was an accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a fluke.
Okay. All right. So like they just jump for fun and.
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know if he was just jumping around for fun and then he, figured out there was a hole, or if he was like, I'm gonna get out of this tank.
Master Link says, I had mollies, they had babies. Mine had babies and I only ever saw one. I woke up one morning and there was a tiny little fish swimming around. And I was like, oh. And I never found any more of them. There was only one.
Interesting. Sometimes I think it would be fun to have an aquarium, but there is too much
Work?
Mm-hmm. Like that part I'm immediately disinterested, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like the fact that you
to
have
clean
to
the filter.
yeah, I'm like I'm immediately
litter
out.
box is hard enough.
Litter box is easy. Litter box is just like whoosh, shh, done.
Well, I'm talking about like the deep clean.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. Would Kepler eat the fish?
You wouldn't be able to get to them.
Says who?
You put a lid on it.
Oh, that's what you mean. He would be. I think the poor little fish would have heart attacks because Kepler would just be smacking the glass all the time. That's gotta be stressful. Like if you lived in a box and there was a monster that lived outside of your clear box and was constantly like, I'll kill you. I feel like that there would be, some form of anxiety that would lend itself to an early death. If we lived in a glass house and and Godzilla was always outside like, if I could get in there, you'd be dead. It's just every day. I mean, like, I think that'd just be a lot, man. It's too much. 300 bits from Soul CP Chan, who says, would clown could be a fortune teller? You mean using the clown alert to dictate what's going to happen? Yeah, well, there are good and bad clowns.
Yeah.
Or depending on who you are in the audience, all clowns are bad clowns. Not going to get back into that, but we've had entire breakfast streams about folks' thoughts on clowns. We also have a sub from Cosplayer Dork.
Welcome.
Welcome. Since the last time we streamed,
Friday.
did something happen? Was there like an update with my health?
Your appointment was Thursday, yeah. Well, Friday we had the stream. I don't know if you talked about it Friday.
Oh, I don't think we did. Time did change.
Yeah.
We did spring forward an hour. So I had my follow-up appointment, and I'm still getting a CT scan next week, so not even this week. But also, they wanted me to do a what is it called? A stool study?
Yes.
A stool study. And I'm not going to talk any more about that. If you know, you know. But I will tell you that was it wasn't my favorite thing to do. I'll leave it at that. The reader from Fossix just says, so my sore throat didn't go away, and now it's possibly COVID. And my computer monitor decided to spaz out yesterday when I needed it the most. Gonna need a lot of good vibes to get through this. Well,
Good
first
vibes.
off, I am sorry because that sucks.
Yeah.
I hope it's not COVID, but also we live in this world and that could just happen. So I wish you well on recovery no matter what. And I'm sorry that it does. I think a lot of people would agree with the sentiment of like, when it rains, it pours.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like that. So I hope that your equipment starts being more consistent. Actually, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were having a little meeting. It was we always do meetings with Meow, Dan, and Chaz, and Dan joined the call from his phone. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, I woke up this morning and like all the lights were like flickering. He's like, I had to shut down my computer and shut everything down. He's like, because like something's wrong with the electric. And I was like, that's weird. He said, yeah, I already called the electric company and they're coming out to look at it. And then while we were on the call, he's like, oh, they're here, gotta go. And he said that the electric guy said that it was a bird
Yeah.
had gotten into something and like messed up his the electric in the house. Man, these birds coming into our life and messing up our stuff.
Dan did an impression of the guy that came over, and he sounded a little bit like Boomhauer. And Dan's like, I couldn't quite understand him.
Yeah. He said something about a bird.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I understand that. These birds sure are angry. It's a good reminder too that like so much of what we know and we enjoy as part of like daily life is really hanging on by like a thread.
Yeah.
Oh, a bird touched this wire? Oh.
What are you doing?
Everything's got to be fixed now. And it's like, do we not have a better system? And the answer is usually no. We've got things that have been around for like 50 or 60 years, and that's how we do a certain thing. And we're like, it's working. It's working just fine.
Good morning, cutie.
His eye looks better today.
Yeah, it does.
His eye's been bothering him. I think he had scratched at his eye And then his eye had to heal up, and it's finally looking a little better. Good job, bud. Aren't you cute this morning?
He cute. He had hiccups earlier.
Did you, get a... You got a video of that, right?
Yeah, I didn't post it, though.
Okay.
Coffee.
Proud 245. Dang old bird went and finding this old man. I tell you what, man, all the gold birds and stuff, man. I tell you what. Doing from Action Gat says, since y'all have the super good vibes today, could I have some for all the pain I'm experiencing? Also, hi, Kepi. Yeah.
Good vibes.
Pain sucks. Pain sucks. You have a lot of solidarity here, too. We've got other folks that have dealt with pain, both chronic and the other one that's not chronic. Non-chronic. Occasional. Occasional?
Acute.
Acute! I mean, occasional also works, but no, it's not the other... Not the other word I was looking for. Here, have this.
You rubbing your face on the
I hadn't
table.
done the beans, but there's the beans. 300 from Adrian says, have you heard they're apparently bringing back King of the Hill? Thoughts? Yeah, it's from what we've heard, it's a time jump, which is exciting. So it'll take place a little bit in the future. We just finished King of the Hill.
Yeah.
So if they made more, that'd be fine. It'd be good timing. I would not mind that.
Coffee.
And Blastoise says, apparently Futurama's coming out again too. So many reboots. Yep, that was all over social media because it was like.
It was a big deal with.
Yeah, with.
I'm blanking on his name.
The guy that plays Bender.
Yeah.
That guy. That guy. Yeah, John DiMaggio.
No picnic is complete without Tiny Eddie's extra crispy unicycle cookies.
Crispy things this morning.
You know, every cookie is a unicycle. Because it's one wheel.
Coffee.
And a cookie is round. That's from Airbender. No message. Just letting us all enjoy extra crispy unicycle cookies. Thank you. I love those, in fact. Now I just want to play the Super Nintendo game. What's that game? Uniracers.
Because I recently watched Disenchanted Season 3, all I can think of is the King instead of Bender, because he plays the King in Disenchanted.
Oh,
John
okay.
DiMaggio.
I see. We got 300 bits from Charhutch, who says, so I got my steroid shot for my disc on Thursday, but still sore, but on the way to recovery. Also, when do you think you'll be doing mail? Probably pretty soon here. What's the day?
Today's Tuesday.
We might be recording it as early as like tomorrow.
Maybe, yeah.
But when will it come out is a bigger question, and I'm not sure because Dan's been working on Pokemon. We're going to be launching Pokemon on YouTube next week, and there's going to be a lot of it because it takes 2 finishes this week. So we're actually going to be releasing a lot of Pokemon like at once. So be on the lookout for that. But mail will be shortly after. We did record Sora.
Yeah.
We did record Sora. So if you're looking forward to that, that is on, I think, Friday. I think I have it set to come out Friday. So that video is finally... So that was like one part. Mail was another part. So we're getting there. There's just been a lot going on. Because we still have to get mail out, and we still have to get fan favorites out. And there just hasn't been enough time to do all these things, because Dan's like, what should I be working on? We're like, Pokemon. Should definitely be working on Pokemon, so. Yep. But Pokemon starts on Sunday. Which is also my birthday.
You're still going after my hair.
He thinks it's a toy. Which it's not.
I did dangle it, and he grabbed it, but then I left it alone, and then he attacked it.
He's a good boy. He's very cute. I love the cat. What else was I gonna say? Oh, we did start a new show,
Yes.
and it wasn't like a planned thing
No.
at all. It was just morbid curiosity, and then we just haven't stopped watching it. We finished Holy Moly. I should clarify that. We watched Holy Moly, and then we finished it. But we started watching Dragon Ball Super. We're only a few episodes into it. But it was on Hulu, and I was like, oh, I didn't know the show was on Hulu. And Matt was like, oh, I hope that it's just a bunch of stupid filler stuff. And I was like, well, we could find out. And then we just turned it on. And before we even turned it on, I was like, should we watch GT? Because it's not like canon anymore. And we decided, no. We just watched Super. So, yeah, it was, it's been fun so far. I like it. It feels very much like I've described it as a victory lap for Dragon Ball. It starts, and it doesn't have any interest in explaining the characters to you.
No.
The show starts, and it's like, there's 100+ Dragon Ball characters. They're going to start showing up in spades every episode. We will not explain them to you. You do know why you're here. This show's been around forever. If you don't know these characters, that's not our fault. And
Do you remember this character? No.
it's kind of nice, actually, because it doesn't... It from what we've seen so far, it knows what it wants to be.
Yeah.
And it's doing that. Yeah. Oh, so we've seen 4 or 5 episodes of
Yeah.
it so far, and so far it's been like entirely filler, and it's great.
I've enjoyed it.
It's so great. It's like, it's just nonsense. The entire show is just nonsense, but if you have all these well-established characters, you just kind of want to see them just do stuff. So
Yeah.
it's been good so far. And if you want a more streamlined experience, like they made those movies, which is like all of the major plot points, but they're just in a movie. So
I mean, my favorite parts of Z was like Goku drives a car and the Magic School Bus episode. Like, those were my favorite parts of Z.
yeah, we never watched the movies. I'm familiar with the concept of the movies, but we never watched them. So we're just watching
The Magic School
show.
Bus episode is where they go inside Boo.
There is a Magic School Bus episode of Dragon Ball Z. Goku and Vegeta are literally like riding on cake in Boo's stomach, and Vegeta makes wild like one-liners.
Yeah, it's my favorite episode.
It's kind of insane. But also, most of that show is kind of crazy.
I know, you're fine. You were trying to roll, I'm helping.
Thanks for helping. Anyway, let's talk about things that are happening today. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
It is halfway through the month, which is, somewhat alarming, but I feel like that every single month, so like, whatever. Skyrim is today. It'll be the last Skyrim episode on the channel for a little bit. So enjoy. Because we'll be shifting over to releasing a lot of Pokemon, and then we'll be shifting over to releasing Kirby. Because Kirby is going to be coming out pretty soon too. So
Yep.
like, little bit of time before we get back to Skyrim. And that's it. That's
It's
the
your
only
birthday
announcement.
on Sunday.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay.
We might do something for my birthday. I haven't even talked to Chaz about it.
I know.
Because I only realized, like,
Yesterday
yesterday afternoon that it was my birthday. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's my birthday. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do something for my birthday. Maybe. But there'll definitely be a stream on Friday, because we'll be continuing on Pokemon a little bit. And that's it. I don't have any other announcements for today. I hope I get a vlog out. But I don't have anything, I don't think I have anything else to announce. And you don't either.
Nope.
Well, that's boring. I don't know. Watch Skyrim. Watch Skyrim. That's all I got for you today. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna wrap it up there then. Is this really nothing else to?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. We'll be back on Thursday morning, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
So that's exciting. And, we'll have some coffee then also. Because that's what we do. Okay. Have a good one. Enjoy Skyrim. And I'll try to get a vlog out. Alright, bye.